Hi there, welcome back, fellow Java enthusiasts. In today's thrilling episode, we're diving deep into the world of API testing with the fantastic tool known as Postman. If you're not familiar with Postman, don't worry, we've got you covered. This is an absolute game changer when it comes to testing REST APIs. Postman is a powerful API development and testing tool that simplifies the process of working with APIs. It is an essential tool for developers, testers, and anyone involved in building and consuming APIs. Postman provides a user-friendly interface that allows users to easily send HTTP requests, view responses, and analyze API data. Here are some key features and functionalities of Postman that we are going to use in this lesson. 1. API requests. Postman allows users to create and send various types of HTTP requests, such as GET, POST, PUT, DELETE, PATCH, and more. It supports different authentication methods, URL parameters, and request headers, making it versatile for testing various API endpoints. 2. Collections and environments. With Postman, you can organize API requests into collections, making it easier to manage and execute multiple requests in a structured manner. Environments allow you to define variables that can be used across requests, making testing more dynamic and efficient. 3. Testing and assertions. Postman enables you to write tests and assertions to validate API responses automatically. This ensures that the API behaves as expected and helps catch any issues early in the development process. Now, you might be wondering how we actually put Postman to work. Well, that's where the real fun begins. Today, we'll be learning how to test REST APIs using Postman to send a flurry of requests. We'll explore everything from simple GET requests to more complex POST, PUT, DELETE, and PATCH requests. But wait, there's more. Remember that awesome Spring Boot microservice we created in the previous YouTube video? Yep, you guessed it right. We're going to take our microservice on a wild ride, as we use Postman to thoroughly test its every nook and cranny. Get ready to equip yourselves with the skills to become API testing champions, and let's embark on this exhilarating journey together. Without further ado, I'll hand you over to our Postman expert, Nico. Nico might have a fascinating Dodecanese accent, but when it comes to speaking the Queen's English, he's simply flawless. So, rest assured, you're in for an educational and enjoy.
Before we can start with this lesson, we first need to install Postman. In order to be able to test the API, you need to test the GET, the POST, the PUT, and the DELETE methods. And you can only do that with a program like Postman or by writing another microservice to call this microservice. So for us, the easiest is to install Postman. You will find a link below to this blog page. And when you open this blog page, click on this link and open it in a new tab. Now, depending on what operating system you are running, you will find the appropriate button here. I'm running Linux, so I will click on this button. You can do it this way as well. Save link as. And then download the file. Now, I've already got this file, so I'm not going to download it, but that's what you would do. And then once you've downloaded the file, then we can proceed to do the installation. As a Linux user, I like to install my programs in the OPT folder. In order to do that, you need to own the OPT folder. The command you need to run is this. Sudo chown, the name of the user, my user is Nick M, and then the path, and this is the OPT folder. And then once you've done that, you should be able to see that you own it. ls-la/opt. And you can see I'm owning this folder now. Next, you need to create a Postman directory. So you can use the mkdir command, or you can do it in the File Explorer. I'm going to close this terminal, open the File Explorer in the OPT folder. So you could go right-click and say Create Folder. Having downloaded the tarball, you right-click and extract it here. You would do the same for a Windows installation. You would extract the zip file where you want it. I would like to put my application on my desktop. I need to open this Postman folder and then make a link. If I right-click and say make link, now that I've got a link, I drag the link to the desktop and then go back one level up. Now you may notice I have a Postman image here. You will need one, so the best thing to do is to go to Google and search for Postman logo. And then click on images, find a suitable one and download it. And that is what I did, and I downloaded this one here. We want to first test this to see that it works. So double click, good, it works. Now let's close it. With a Linux installation, you also need to set the image. What you do is you right-click and select Properties. You press this one. You navigate to the OPT folder, find Postman, click on the file you downloaded and say Open. And now close. And that's it. Let's test this. After installing Postman, we need to create a workspace, we need to create a collection, and then we need to create requests. Go back to this blog post. We'll start with creating a workspace. I have put the instructions here, and I'm going to go through them. So let me move this out of the way so it makes it easier. So what we need to do is click on the new button on the left navigator and then click on workspace. Click on blank, click on next, give this a name. Give this a description. You need to click on Personal and then click on Create. This will now create me a test workspace. Next, we need to create a collection. Click on the new button. Click on Collection and give the collection a name. I would call this To-Do REST Service Collections or To-Do Collections and press Enter. And it's created a collection. After creating the collection, the next thing we want to do is to create requests. We'll start with a simple request. This, for example, will allow me to connect to my microservice and do a GET. Click on the new button, click on HTTP, and now we need to give it a URL. So let's see what we have in the post here. Here's my URL. And press the send button. And this thing worked. It connected to my microservice. Now we need to give this thing a name. So when we say save, to the left of this, I always type the class name first. Get, and then I call this get all. Just so that I can see which test I am doing and what class I am calling. So now I've done that, and you see I have a get all. Here's my get all. So if I now click here and I say send, it will run the test again. Now if you want to delete any of these items, you click on the double dot here, you go and navigate to delete, and then you say delete. Now to create a complex collection, this is a collection where I have both a URL and a body, like when I want to create a new to-do, I will need to do that. Let's follow the instructions. It says click on the new navigator here, on the new button in the navigator. Click on HTTP. We need to select post. There it is. We need to copy this URL. And then we need to give it key values. Under key here, we need to say accept. And next to it, we need to put application JSON. And then for the next one, it's content type. Content type, copy, paste, and application JSON. Copy, paste. After we've done that, we now need to go to the body and we need to select raw. And then copy what's in here. Paste it in here. Now, after doing that, we want to test this. So let's send. Just be careful with this microservice. The tasks are unique. We cannot have two tasks with the same name. So you'll notice I put the word new in here. It may be better, instead of pasting it, to just say type A and look for accept, and then do the same with content type, because you don't want to have spaces in front of those. And the same with application JSON. If you click in here and you type J, it will bring the list with J's, and there's application JSON. Okay, we've now put our URL, we've made it post. Accepts application, content type is that. We hit send, but now we're going to get an error because we've already created that one. So let's go back to the body and make it something different. And let's try again, and that works. And then after we've done that, the same here, we want to save this. So we say save. I like to put the class in front, post, and a description, create. Create new. And we say save. Now that we've seen how to create a simple request and a complex request, here is the REST API, all the URLs and the microservice mappings. So with this information, we can now go and create all the requests. Let's start with the first one, get all. I already have this, and you see it even remembers the result that I got. So there I just needed get and the URL, and if I call this, I get back my result. So that's what I needed for get all. We've already done this. The next we want is to get one to do. Now I normally would use a 1 here instead of the ID. Let's get record 1. There it is, record 1. And that's a get. And if I call it, there we are, record 1. So that's how we do this one. It's just a get and the URL. For the get actives, this is the same thing. Let's go and open it up, get actives. It's a get and a URL. You will notice the URL is different to the other URLs, and that is a requirement I needed to do so that I could be able to add an additional web method to my microservice. But for you, it's just the URL. There it is. You take that URL, you paste it there, we selected get, which is default, and then we run it. And here we should get only the tasks that are active. And there are a few tasks that are active. The next one is to create a to-do. We've already done this one, so I'm going to skip this. This is the post. After that, we need to now do the next one, and that is to delete the to-do. So we copy the URL. Notice that I want to delete a specific record. So copy the URL, go here and say new request. Let me open it. And then in the drop down, we selected delete and we pasted it. Now I need to make sure that the URL I use exists. Otherwise, I'm going to get an error. So let's go back to the get all and find one. Oh, here's a to-do number 8. So let's go back to delete and let's change this URL there to 8. Now all we need to do is just hit the send button. And it came back and it told us it's deleted. So we've succeeded to delete. We've done all of these. We've got one more to do. And that is to toggle. Oh, here it is. This request will enable me to take a record and toggle the state between busy and completed. Whatever state it is, if it's not completed, it will make it completed. If it is completed, it will toggle it back to busy. So here's the URL. Let's go and create this one. Toggle. I'm going to use the first record. I can now send it. And you see the state is now completed. If I run it again, it is busy. And if I run it again, it is completed. Now we've got one more to do, and that is this one here. We want to update the record. This is also a complex one. If we go down here and we look at the instructions for this one, here's the instructions for what we want to do. But before we do that, let's go back and find the record. I could use record 1. Do this task now. The instructions should tell us this is the URL. It's a put. So let's go and create a new one. New HTTP request. I want this to be a put. I want to use this URL and record 1. Copy. And the same here, we've got to do accept and content type. So go here under headers, accept, underneath it, content type. Look for content type, type. And then here J, select application JSON, J, application JSON. We've done that. Now we need to create the body. The body, as we said, must be raw. We use raw here, and we take this. Except for the record number. We don't want that. So let's copy, paste. And let's make this, do this. Let's call it important task. And send it. And we got back, do this important task. And now we want to save this. Save. It's a put. And it's update. And save. And let's go back to record 1. And this now should change. There we are. And with that, we have completed to create the requests.
Thank you so much for joining us in this exciting journey exploring the world of Postman and API testing. We hope you found Nico's demonstration on installing Postman, creating workspaces, and establishing connections insightful. Throughout the video, we learned how to unleash the full potential of Postman by creating various types of requests, allowing us to thoroughly test all the CRUD operations of our Spring Boot microservice. From simple GET requests to more complex POST, PUT, DELETE requests, we've equipped ourselves with essential skills to become API testing champions. Now, we want to hear from you. Leave us a comment below and let us know what you thought about the video. Your feedback, suggestions, and questions are valuable to us as we continue to improve our content. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our tech-savvy community. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on our future coding adventures and exciting tech tutorials. For those who want to take their learning experience to the next level, consider becoming a patron of our channel. Our patrons gain exclusive access to our valuable training courses in PDF format, empowering you to become a tech mastermind. Thank you for being a part of our incredible journey. Together, let's conquer the world of APIs and coding with passion and excellence. Stay tuned for the next video, and until then, happy coding.